Hey y'all, and welcome to the Ginger Spice Show. It is your hostess with the mostest, your not so typical school psychologist, Ginger. If this is your first time coming to my channel, welcome. I'm so glad to have you. I am so glad that you saw it fit to come sit with the little old me and hear what I have to say. And if you are a part of the family, if you've been here since day one, thank you for rocking with me. I totally appreciate y'all's support. I would have never thought, right, that it'd be little old me up here talking to y'all and that y'all would actually like it. So I'm grateful. I appreciate y'all coming back and asking for more and just listening to me. And I really hope that I'm still giving you all what it was that you were looking for from day one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the button and hit the bell. I know y'all love it here. I know y'all do, so go ahead. Just hit it for me. Thank you. In today's video, we will be discussing all things my third semester at Howard. Yes, so we'll be talking about my second year. I'm gonna split it up into two videos, just like I did these ones. So I hope you guys went and watched my first year videos. But now we're gonna be talking about year two, semester one, fall of 2018. So just like in the year one videos, we're gonna be talking about the 5 courses that we had to take. We're gonna be talking about the major assignments in those classes, why that class was necessary for the field, and any advice, I guess, that I might be able to give y'all about fall 2018. So if that's what you're looking for, stay tuned. Semester 3 at Howard, fall of 2018, was probably one of my favorites, if I'm keeping it 100 with you all. The 5 courses that we took that semester were taught by some of the greatest professors that Howard has on their campus, and ultimately, really changed the way I thought about school psychology and what practicing really looks like. I feel like that's a necessary conversation to be had. Not that we're gonna have it right now, but just about how school psychologists show up in the field for their students, like their actual grad students, but also for their students that they're working with if they're actually practicing in schools. Like I promised, I would show you all my fall of 2018 binder, and again my color-coded classes, and really in my binders, like I was saying, kept all of the information, and even you'll see like my Practicum notebook, some files from I think these are from Practicum, I don't really remember, but overall really just keeping track of everything. So again, if y'all have any questions at all, do not hesitate to reach out and ask, like anything specific. I'm your girl. I got y'all. During fall of 2018, we did again take 5 classes. Those 5 classes were Practicum Assessment and Intervention, Consultation in School Psychology, Intro to Applied Behavioral Analysis, Developmental Psychopathology, and Research Methods in Social Work. So again, 5 classes every semester to be able to graduate in 3 years. In our Practicum Assessment and Intervention course, again, we're just still learning those skills and still learning the information that we need to be competent school psychologists. Learning more about the IDEA classifications, learning more about how we support ourselves as school psychologists, learning more about just the fields, different interventions, and things of that nature to get us to, again, be better school psychologists. So in this course, the major assignment is a case study. So seeing that Practicum is year-long for your second year, in the first half, you have to do either assessment or intervention, and then in the second half of the course, you have to do whichever one you didn't do before. So I think I did assessment first and intervention last so I could get more information, but that is ultimately the biggest assignment. In our Consultation in School Psychology course, that course really teaches us about the consultation model. So there are different models of consultation, which is the practice by which you work with other clinicians or work with your teachers or your faculty and your staff in schools to support whoever the client is. And typically you think of your client as being the student, but in this course you learn that your client could be another teacher. Your client could be the principal, right? So if the teacher has an issue with another teacher, that could be the client, where you're giving and consulting with the teacher to support whoever it is that they need help supporting, or the principal, or whatever the case may be. So this class is necessary for the field because school psychology is definitely a very collaborative field. So you will work with your students, yes. You'll work with their parents, yes, but you also have to work with teachers, you have to work with other administrators, you have to work with social workers, you have to work with outside therapists, you have to work with everybody. So this class really gets you to understand that process. So while we're at Practicum, we are actually like working in the field and seeing these theories come to life. So that's really the best part for me, right? Learning what you learn in the classroom about the field, but then also being on Practicum and experiencing it for real. So that was great for me. The major assignment that we had in our consultation class was a case study, which we had to turn into a paper, where we took an actual case that we had at our Practicum site with one of our students, and we had to write about the consultation process. So those 4 steps and how we went through each step, like really detailing what that process looked like, and then we had to present it to our class. So again, we're already on Practicum. We have the students just about getting that experience. So when you're out in the field, you know what you're doing. In our intro to applied behavioral analysis classes, which is probably one of my favorite classes, we learned about behavior and the functions of behavior. We learned about really like why students behave the way they do, and also how you can get down to the science of behavior to really get you to understand why students are acting the way they're acting and how you get them to ultimately change those behaviors. So that class was really amazing. Being able to really there was a moment in that class where everything just clicked and you're just like, wow, that makes so much sense. And that's behavior theory for real. So in that class, we really learned about like functional behavioral assessments and behavior intervention plans, and really how to graph that data, how to track that data, the different types of like extinction bursts, and just a bunch of different terminology that can be used in behavior theory. We didn't have any like really major assignments. That professor was just really chill. So it was really just about learning and then going out into Practicum and doing. In Developmental Psychopathology, we learned how different diagnoses affect children and Black children specifically. We think about how like trauma affects children, but Black children specifically. We learned about how anxiety presents itself in Black children. We learned about how schizophrenia presents itself in Black children. Just a bunch of different diagnoses that you see in the school system and you see our students struggling with, that we went ahead and had to learn about how they affect us, what are the signs and the symptoms and that kind of thing. So that was definitely really cool because we did spend the whole semester focusing on Black children, which, if you don't know, now you know, is what my research interests are. So I loved every moment of that class and really hearing from my classmates, because in that class we learned through presentation. So every student picked a topic for the 15 weeks that we had, and every class was just a presentation. We got to ask questions and really dive deep into what the information was. So again, one of my favorite classes, the same professor from the other class, but really just learning. Like, we really spent the whole semester just learning and learning from our peers, which is something that you really don't get to see a lot in undergrad or even in like grad school, typically, I guess to say. So Howard trains us in a scientist practitioner model. So it is research based, and we are learning to be practitioners, but also diving into research. So really us being able to teach our classmates and learn from each other was definitely a highlight of the program as well. And lastly, the 5th course, research methods and social work. This class taught us how to be better consumers of research. We spent the whole semester really beginning to think back to the basics of what research is and how we consume research. And that class, while it wasn't new information, was definitely a refresher, because you think about having to dive into research when you're on your own in practice to keep yourself abreast of all of the changes in the field was definitely a good refresher to have, because I hadn't taken a research course since probably like my junior year of undergrad. So definitely a good refresher. And even though we were fresh out of undergrad, my cohort and I, there are other students that take time off and come back. So definitely a great refresher course just to get you to be a better researcher and be a better consumer of research for when you're out in the fields on your own. And in that class, we spent the semester just working on a 15 to 20 page paper about any topic of our choosing. So I wrote about childhood sexual abuse, and we spent the whole semester really just breaking that paper down into its parts and really understanding how we go about writing research that is digestible to the common person that doesn't understand, the big words. So really making research and making academia digestible for your everyday person. Also, during fall of 2018, that's when we started to apply for internships. And while I'm not going to get into that now, that's just something for you to keep in mind. So Howard's 3-year program, after your 2 years, you go to internship on your 3rd year. So you start to apply for internship the fall of your 2nd year. So that was something that we also had to do during 2018, and I'm not gonna get into that here. Like I said, probably gonna do another video talking about the application process, interviews, and then getting an internship. But just so you know, what you're getting into is that during those 5 courses, during that semester of practicum, you are gonna have to start applying for internships. So keep that in mind if you're trying to, break down the timeline of what that looks like. Like I keep telling y'all, life is not boring on this side, right? So fall of 2018, I definitely kicked up the travel just a little bit. The fun kicked up, just living my life, right? Because yes, I'm in school, but I'm also still young. I'm also just trying to live life. I'm also just now getting money to be able to live life. So all of these things all happening at once, I'm not about to sit back and watch life pass me by. So even though I was working, and even though I was still in school, your girl still found time to travel. So during the fall of 2018, I went to LA for the first time. I went to ATL for one of my friend's birthdays, and then Howard homecoming. This whole life thing, and the way that the world makes it seem like you can't have fun and you can't be serious and you can't all of that at the same time, is not true. Because if I'm gonna do anything, I'm gonna have fun. Like, I promise you that. So even while I was in school, I was definitely making the time to go out and have fun and enjoy the world. So you should definitely do that too. Try it out. So I hope you didn't make it all the way here and not like, comment, and subscribe. Like, you didn't do that yet? What else you doing? Okay, so here's your chance. Go ahead. Thank you. In my next video, we'll be discussing that 4th semester, so the end of year 2, and what that semester looked like, right? I hope you all got exactly what you needed out of this video. I hope that you will stay safe and stay healthy, and meet me back here next week.